Hello folks, Elita Legionarii here, and today I'm actually going to be bringing you some Medieval 2 Total War. I realise it's been quite a while since I've brought you any of this because I've been having so many good 31k games on Rome Total War that I just sort of haven't really done anything for Medieval 2. So I thought, you know, need to get some Medieval 2 out for my Medieval 2 viewers. It's not really intentional when I don't bring you a mixture of games, but sometimes I go through periods where I feel like one of the Total Wars, like more playing that one over another one. So for instance, at the moment I feel like playing a lot of Rome Total War 31k games, so that's where I'm getting a lot of surplus of videos. But other times in the future it can easily vary and change for me, and I can feel like playing Medieval 2 or Rome 2 or whatever, you know. It varies for me, you know, so that's why I haven't brought much Medieval 2, because I haven't been playing a lot of it, because I just sort of haven't wanted to as much as, you know, it doesn't mean I won't want to in future, it goes in kind of phases for me, and Rome Total War is still what I want to kind of play, but I will bring you Medieval 2 as well, where I can, because I know that I've got a pretty good following for Medieval 2. So anyway, this is a 3v3 I did a few weeks back. I'm playing as Poland. My army consists of 5 units dismounted Polish knights, 2 peasants in the back, 3 dismounted Polish nobles in the front, and 5 woodsmen. And of course all the power of Poland is 4 very heavily upgraded Polish guard and a general's bodyguard. This is going to be a rush build. It's generally one of my rush builds here. I'll just pause before it begins. My allies are Pikenshot, he's in command of Venice. His army consists of 4 Venetian heavy infantry in the back here. He's got general's bodyguard up here, and then I believe he's got 4 Stratiots heavily. No, he doesn't. He's got 2 Stratiots and 2 broken lances well upgraded, and then a mixture of pikes and broken lances infantry. Basically, appears to be what he's got there. And then SwedishLandsknekt, who is in command of Portugal. He's got 4 swords and militia. Then he's got 6 dismounted conquistadors. No upgrades though, no defense upgrades anyway. And he's got 2 units of dismounted Portuguese knights for shock. Then he's got general's bodyguard, 2 conquistadors, and 2 knights of Santiago. Now our battle plan was pretty simple. We were going to swing around and we were going to smash straight through Hungary. That was the battle plan. I have put my peasants here in the back here to screen out any cab strikes coming at me from the Moorish player over here. The Spanish player will probably be the most difficult opponent just because he's Spain. But the general plan is just for us to link. So I'm going to link up with these guys. Swedes and Pikenshot will attack. So I'm going to stay over here with their armies at the moment, because that is where the attack is going to come from. So another combined flank strike is a very good tactic in pretty much all the Total Wars, really, to be honest. Good tactic. If you get your teammates to go along with it, you can usually have a pretty good, successful game for the most part, just depending on how well you execute it. So anyway, let's just quickly pause, outline the enemy armies. So Hungary is under the command of Paladin. Now this isn't Paladin Bob, or as you know, I often play with Paladin Bob, but this actually isn't him. So don't get confused there if that's what you think. He's got some Poe spearmen up front. It's a pretty good unit. It's 3 of those. Some Croat axemen, a bunch of Bosnian archers, and dismounted feudal knights, axemen, and then Hungarian nobles, chivalric knights, Royal Bandarium, Hungarian nobles, and general's bodyguards. So a bit of a mixed force in quite a defensive formation, but he's going to be well targeted there. And as you can see, they're not well linked up. In fact, they were focused on me over on this flank. As you can see, Spain's got some 2 chivalric knights, 2 feudal knights, general's bodyguard for cav, some peasant crossbowmen, some tertiary pikes, and dismounted conquistadors for his army. Moorish player here. I'm not really going to try and attempt to say his name. As you can see, it's very long. Spanish player is called Yakov 123 Dead. Moorish player, I don't really think I'll be able to say his name, so I'm not really going to. I think it's like methine. It's the drug anyway. It sounds like the drug. Ketamine, fever, I can't, you know, it sounds like the drug. Anyway, you've got 2 Sudanese javelins some peasant, so desert archers rather, Lamtuna spearmen, Systematic Christian Guard, a bodyguard, some Sudanese gunners, Christian Guard and wedge formation, crossbow militia, platoon spearmen. I think he has some camel gunners somewhere too. Yeah, here we go. He's got a camel gunner and a desert gas, a bit of a mixed force, but he does prove to be a slight nuisance later on. So anyway, the rush shall begin on the Hungarian player. As you can see, Swedes and Pikenshot done that. We're going to begin it now, and as you can see, I am linking up as fast as I can. I'm sending my cav ahead, which is a risky move in case these guys strike at me, but this is what my peasants and Polish nobles are here for, just to block. So I'm going to send my cav this way, and we're going to have an overwhelming cav force and destroy Hungary. So that's what we're going for here. Sweden's going to move in onto his right wing, and Pikenshot's going to go into the front and left while the cav strikes at the side and breaks through, try and mop them. That's the general overall battle plan going on here. So here Swedes is going to come around, he's going to go for the enemy cavalry. He's going to get a nice charge too, much better. He's going to catch his opponent completely unawares there actually. So that gives him the advantage there, and he'll quickly do a lot of damage. As you can see, he's already torn that unit down by 10 and taken a few losses. And now he's going to pour his general's bodyguard into support. As you can see, Pikenshot did a quick strike through here, did a bunch of damage through there. Didn't catch that though. He charges into the back of these guys, and Paladin is reacting way too slowly to all this. The Spanish cav has come to assist him, but Pikenshot has intercepted with some pikes, as you can see, and my cav is now over here so I can help them. As Swedes takes down the cav, he's got some of his cav in the back. He's looking to reserve them obviously, but he got some great charges off and took the edge of the cav fight. As you can see, Pikenshot's just going to thunder into this flank. Swedes has moved right out into the flank in a very nice flanking position here. I'm going to keep the Spanish cav occupied and away so these guys can do their thing. Although the Spanish cav got away, but I've got my Polish guard coming around the flank to support that. So as you can see, the Hungarian player is starting to rout in quite a few places now. Swedes pushes around on this side. As you can see, the Spanish cav is taking a severe mauling between myself and Pikenshot's army. So coming around the back here now, I'm going to get some hand rambles here and free up Venice so you can wrap right around the back here. As you can see, my cav's coming through, so let's catch that if they've got their lances down. As you can see, so that causes a pretty big rout right here on the side. Now Venice is going to be able to push right around. Hungary is pretty much completely routed. As you can see, the camel gunners are niggling away at my flank here as I run. This is what my peasants are for. I can put them in loose and just act them as a blocker, so I can keep my infantry and get them over here. As you can see, I'm close enough to cav support now that I should be alright, to be honest. Now we're just sending our cavalry into support, hit the back of the flanks and make sure they get rid of the routers before they can regroup. And that's basically Hungary and the Spanish cav completely destroyed. So the battle plan's come off really nicely and we've taken a pretty decisive lead on this particular fight. Pikenshot's quick to come to my assistance here because he sees I'm getting rushed here. So I put my spearmen forward and my peasants to soak up the charge. As you can see, I managed to absorb quite a lot of it. And at this stage, I believe I'm sending my cav back towards my army.
So he can see us defeat the rest of his army.
So at this stage, I'm just bringing up my pikemen, just trying to, not my pikemen, rather my Polish spearmen. They're a bit tired though from running all the way over here, so I've got to be careful. And they get charged here, so they're going to take quite a bit of a beating, but they will take a few cav with them. But they won't most likely lose that, because you can actually charge spearmen on the front. As you can see, that unit's borderline, it's wavering. But he didn't lose too many men, but needless to say, it's protecting my infantry, which is, as you can see, I've formed it up. And my cavalry's on its way back, and Pikenshot's army's on the way back. Swedes, the rest of us mopped up the Hungarian army. He's on his way to link up with us, and we're going to get into a bit of a fight here. So I'm going to try and hold some of this Moorish cavalry, but as you can see, it gets charged in, my spears get charged in, and they're going to get routed relatively quickly. In fact, I'm just going to turn the sound down a bit. That just seems really loud. I think that's better. Hopefully they can hear me a bit better. It just seemed really loud on my end. Maybe it wasn't. As you can see, we bring a cav in here and it routes this unit here. Now this Moorish these camel gunners, I was worried about them getting my guys, but I catch this desert cavalry out, and I want to get rid of these Moorish camel gunners because they can do a lot of damage to heavy cavalry because of their ability to cause bad morale damage and cause some serious routing. So I saw that some of these missile units were forward, and I thought I'd just give it a quick go, see if I could get some of these javelin men, some of these archers and gunners and things with some of my cav units. So I'm storming in a bit there. I was probably a little bit overzealous doing this, to be honest, but I decided to change targets just to try and get a few of them, because these are weak units here by the Moors. I should be able to do a bit of damage to them, but he's just, I think, going to get him just out of the way, and I don't want to be too isolated from my ally support lines. As you can see, some of this cav is regrouped, so I'm quickly disengaging, trying to get away. I've got some of his spearmen here, although I don't know if I got a very good charge on them, but they're still crappy spearmen, so they shouldn't do too well. But there's javelin support, so I'll need to get out of this fight before I take unnecessary losses. Now I managed to turn around and take these guys on. Now I should be able to probably take them out, or at least severely weaken them at this stage, although camel gunners are shooting and that's dangerous. I want to try and get these camel gunners because, as you can see, they're quite difficult to kill. These guys are shaken, but I was trying to catch them because you need to try and catch them because you can destroy them in melee pretty quickly, although my guys are shaken from all these shots, so that's taking quite a bit of damage. Now we're reforming up and charging here, just trying to finish off the rest of these Christian guard with my cav here. Our cav has taken quite a beating at this stage. Apparently my general just died, so that's a bit of a nuisance, but now that I've got these camel gunners out of the way, I've caught them, and once you get them into a melee you can easily destroy them, so that's good because they could be a real nuisance. So I decided just to make sure they're absolutely dead, and I hammer and anvil them in the back, because camel gunners can be a real nuisance and a very dangerous unit if you're not careful, because they have the ability to do a lot of damage to heavy cavalry from a distance and rout them before a major cav fight can begin. So getting rid of them now is critical, because if they parked up behind our lines, started shooting our flanks, it could be dangerous. So I charge into this fight with some of my woodsmen. They should be able to take a spearman, or at least do some nice damage to them, and of course Venice is right there next to me, so that should rout them. So what I'm going to do is, you can see they're kind of disordered, so we're trying to take advantage of the disorganized formations that the Moors are in. So we're pushing Venice quite aggressively, trying to move around the flank. Swedes is going to pin up Spain on the front. He's got round over here, he's attacking some of the remaining units of Spanish cavalry that were over here, I think, and he's trying to mop up some of these missile units. So he's got control of this flank, and we've control of the other flank before the Moors can regroup. Swedes and Venice will generally take on, or probably like Swedes, and then half the Venetian force will take on the Spanish from the front, and then me and some of the rest of the Venetian force are going to swing around the left flank. We've got cavalry advantage, so that does give us the tactical edge here. As you can see, we're mopping up quite a few of these guys. Now there's some Hashashim that are revealed here, so to be careful of those. But as you can see, we're pouring in on the left flank here, and there's quite a significant rout going on amongst the Moors. I decided to charge into some of these heavy infantry here, and as you can see, it does quite a bit of damage, takes them down from full health down to 30, so I lose half his men. Just a quick strike there, just to take the edge. Every little bit of damage to the heavy infantry is very useful. Swedes is now behind their line. His cav is pretty heavily depleted at this stage, as is all our cav, to be honest. That push was quite aggressive. So I'm moving on the flanks here of these guys with my axemen, and we're going to push forward here, and I'm moving most of my sword infantry around the flank. As you can see, I'm going to use my woodsmen to hold up his Hashashim. I will lose that fight, but it will keep his very strongest infantry units unavailable to assist. Actually, these are conquistadors here as well, so I probably won't be able to hold that out for very long, but I should be able to resist. I've got some of my heavy knights in to help, and now with Venice pinning on the front, I've got my infantry coming in behind. Swedes and some of the Venetian units are breaking. The disadvantage we're at here is our guys are tired from all our fighting and running, whereas Spain hasn't done a lot. But I've seen some cav strikes in here, try and break over here so we can move around, and I get a nice break so we can keep pushing it around the flank here like this to help those other guys. As you can see, I should be able to hold these Moorish and Spanish units on the flank here pretty effectively. As you can see, we're kind of pouring up the flank here now, and we've still got cav edge for the most part, so that should give us good cavalry charges in the flank there. As you can see, it's kind of like a phalanx battle here, as you can see, with pikes all the way up the line here. Conquistadors and swords and militia all over the place, but the Spanish troops are very fresh. Our troops are much more tired and depleted from earlier fighting, but we have numbers and our teammates, our team is well better coordinated, as you can see. Swedes charges the back here with some of his cav. We're charging through here and we're now just sort of pulling away out the flank, as you can see. The Venetian heavy infantry is coming in now, which is going to be good. If we get them into the flank, that will cause a rout because they've got their armor piercing weaponry. And we're just going to keep pushing through here and just try and maintain routes. This is all I've really got left in my cav, and I'm going to try and push through here as well. And we're just trying to break our way up their lines, as you can see. So some nice close-ups, bit of cav action coming through. And we're just going to try and keep routing. Spain is starting to get overwhelmed, but a testament to the power of Spain. As you can see, it holds out very well under a lot of pressure. Just testament to how powerful Spain is as a faction. But we've got the numbers. They're holding out all right down here, but through here they'll start routing because there's overwhelming numbers coming in. At this stage, we're trying to charge the back of these lines where it's thinnest. These peasants are in the way though. All these peasant archers, crossbowmen rather, are in the way. But as you can see, the Venetians are right behind the line now, and when they come in with their armor-piercing warhammer and on the charge, combined with our cavalry and other infantry units, we'll rout Spain pretty quickly. Well, that's the general consensus anyway. It is what would happen. So my woodsmen have managed to actually survive their fight with the Hashashiman conquistadors, which is pretty impressive. As you can see, we're pouring in here and the Spanish troops are starting to rout now. We're mopping up Swedes mopping up what's left of those units there. And here come the Venetian heavy infantry straight into the pinned up backs of these Spanish guys, and they actually rout beforehand. Got some cav to support it as well. And once they're there, the chain rout continues. So pretty good hold out there for Spain, but our starting tactics sealed the victory for us. As you can see, as soon as those Venetian heavy infantry get into the flanks, everything starts routing, and there's a bit of cav here from me to speed it up. So charge into the back of these pikemen as well, got their flanks turned, so we should be able to tear them up pretty quickly. And Swedes is mopping up what's left over here. So there you go. They were pretty static there, to be honest, and their teamwork wasn't as quick. They weren't quick enough to react to support as we had a very defined plan. We worked it out and we won that battle pretty decisively just due to sheer teamwork there. So great game to everyone though. Again, I think maximising numbers into a vicinity is always a great tactic no matter what total war game you're doing, because basically it allows you to dominate one area of the field, destroy a large portion of the enemy, and then still have the advantage number where everyone links up. So basically very important to have a coordinated team plan, and when you do, the result is always usually much more in your favour, especially the enemy doesn't. So there's the statistics. High kills for Swedes, with the highest was 712 and 372 captures. I have just 100 short of them with 609 and 342 captures, and Pikenshot has 511 with 276. As you can see, Spain there, 838 kills. So even though Spain didn't really do a lot in the fight except hold, it just gives you a testament of Spain's strength there, and he takes the most kills. But some pretty good kills there to the Moors, and a decent enough amount for Hungary considering how badly a ganged up on it got. So good game to everyone there. I will of course be linking Swede's channel in the description. Be sure to go check that out, guys. Great channel. Let's just have a look at the statistics. The Polish Guard, as you can see, and my General's Bodyguard, very large kill counts and captures, so they got most of my kills. The Woodsmen, they actually didn't do that great, but they held up a lot of good units there for a while and allowed us to get around the flank. My Polish Knights, dismounted Polish Knights, didn't do that much, just helped that router basically, I guess. So it's all about the cav really, it's a rush build. Poland is a great rush faction. Again, probably a few videos back, I guess, I think it was, I spoke about how Poland is a rush faction. You know, it's best used in a rush. Don't waste your time on missile units for Poland. It's not worth it, honestly. Unless you can get lots of horse archers, which is generally banned by the rules, it's not worth it with Poland. Their missile units are not very good. In fact, they're some of the worst in the game, but their cavalry is very good. So put extra upgrades on your cav, and you got a decent unit in the dismounted Polish Knights, so you can, you know, enforce a pretty aggressive rush on people. It's a fun faction to use, a wee bit more trickier than others, but a very good rush faction if you know what you're doing. But anyway, great game. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and be sure to check out Swed's channel. It'll be in the description. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you soon next time.